Before booking your cupping session, there are a few things you really need to know so you are fully prepared and so you can get the best results. Because it's not just about placing cups and drawing blood. It's a full body detox and it can affect how you feel even days afterwards. In this video, I'm going to walk you step by step through what happens during a wet cupping or hijama session. From the intake questions to the post-treatment care, whether you've never done it before or you just want to prepare yourself. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect and how to prepare yourself fully so you can get the best results. Hi, I'm Marjorie. Welcome to the Holistic Cup. Here I'll teach you everything from cupping to complete well-being and help you unlock your optimal health. So let's start with what happens before your treatment, because how you prepare will actually determine how effective your treatment will be. The first thing your practitioner is going to ask you about is about your medical history. If you have some kind of bleeding disorders, or maybe if you're pregnant, just to rule out whether wet cupping is the right therapy for you. If you want to know whether you should or shouldn't try wet cupping, then make sure you watch my previous video where I explain all about it. Another question can be why you want to try hijama. If you have some specific health problems you would like to try and treat, or maybe you're taking some medications. Because if so, sometimes it's better to get a green light first from your doctor, because some medications can change how you react to wet cupping. Then the number one rule you have to follow is that you need to have an empty stomach when undergoing wet cupping therapy. If your session is a little bit later on the day, you shouldn't eat anything 2 to 3 hours before your session. And if you want to go for perfection, then you should avoid red meat and greasy heavy foods 24 hours before your session even. And for those of you who are wondering why this is, it's because when your digestive system is busy with digesting food, then your blood supply is going to go there to give it the energy it needs to do its job. But during wet cupping, your blood flow is redirected away from your digestive system to the surface of the skin. So if you're still having food inside that's being digested, this can cause an upset stomach. It can cause vomiting, nausea, bloating, and so on. So it's better for everyone that you just have an empty stomach. On the contrary, it's very good to enhance blood flow before your session. You can do this by light exercising, going for a walk, or standing even on a vibration plate. Also, taking a warm shower is good to do this. Remember, a shower is always a good idea, as it's not recommended to immediately shower after your session. Plus, I think your practitioner is also going to be very happy about that. This brings us what happens during a session. Your practitioner is going to explain you everything. Of course, communication here is key. If you have any questions, just ask away. Then you'll have to get undressed, and depending on what area is going to be cupped, you'll either have to sit down or lay down. Little tip, by the way, is make sure you are wearing something comfortable and that's easy to get in and out of. Once you're laying or sitting down, the practitioner is going to apply some oil on your skin and apply the cups. After a few minutes, the cups will be removed and the scratches will be made. Once that's done, the cups are going to be placed back on your skin again, so the blood can flow into the cup. So it's like cup, scratches, cup. If you're lucky, some practitioners give a little massage before or during the cupping. This is to enhance blood flow. Also, you can make sure you're enhancing your blood flow by being relaxed and warm. And also deep breathing can help with this. So when you're laying down, you can try to breathe deeply in and out of your belly. This will increase oxygen in your bloodstream and this will enhance blood flow. After removing the cups filled with blood, the practitioner is going to disinfect the incisions and then they're going to apply a little bit of oil to enhance healing. If you've ever tried wet cupping before, you know the incisions can become itchy during the days after your session. So a little trick for you is to just apply coconut oil or olive oil on them in the next few days, and this will take away the itching. Usually the incisions aren't bleeding anymore once you've put your clothes back on, but sometimes a little droplet can still come out, so make sure you're having clothing on that's easily washable. After the session is done, you'll probably get something to drink and to eat. It will be something sugary probably, because this is going to normalize your blood sugar levels and blood pressure as you're in a fasting state. So yes, for once it's recommended to eat something sugary. Enjoy it while you can. And now that you're back home, what you're gonna do? Well, most likely you'll be pretty hungry, but please don't go binge eating on me, okay? This is not the day to do that. Your body is in a healing state and it needs to be nourished with fresh, healthy foods. So try to focus on veggies, legumes, and fruits. A little bit of eggs, chicken is okay, but not too much. And avoid at all costs red meat, sugary processed foods, and very greasy foods. Focus on nourishing and warm meals preferably, because it's very important for your blood flow to stay warm. So you have to stay warm inside and outside. So you can also do as me, you can just snuggle under a blanket with a warm cup of tea and just relax. And you can take that relax quite literally, because I really don't recommend you planning a very busy day after your session. Because like I told you, it's a full body detox. Your body really needs the energy to heal itself. It can even trigger a Herxheimer reaction. Sounds fancy, it just means your body is cleaning house and sometimes it complains while doing it, like me. It's just actually a temporary response of your body to the release of toxins after a cleansing treatment like Hijama. This can give some annoying symptoms like fatigue, headache, some chills, some muscle soreness, emotional release, mood swings, and even temporary worsening of old symptoms. Out of my own experience, I can tell you that no hijama session is like the other. One session has made me feel like I'm Wonder Woman, I could take on the world, and the other one has given me the feeling as if I'm a sleeping potato. Both are normal, it's just temporary and you don't need to worry about it. So you have officially a valid excuse to take a lazy day at home. Use it, milk it, I would say. No, I cannot cook today, I cannot clean today, I cannot do anything today. I have a hijama detox in progress. So yeah, but if you're feeling fine, then even some light exercising or mild activity is recommended. The last thing you're probably wondering about are those cupping marks and how to take care of them. Don't worry about it, they will fade away on their own within 10 to 14 days. Just apply the oil, as I said, and just avoid soaps and warm showers for the first 24 hours. And of course, it's best to avoid sauna, hammam, or swimming for the first 48 to 72 hours. A quick lukewarm shower without soap can be done after 6 to 12 hours already. I have covered everything I needed today. If you want to have everything that I told you today in this video and a super handy checklist, I made a beginner's guide to cupping. I will put the link down below in the description. Make sure to check it out. If you found this helpful, then make sure to like and subscribe my channel so it can grow and help other people. And if you have any questions left, then make sure to ask them in the comments below. See you next time on the Holistic Cup, where we'll dive deeper into the 7 pillars of health.